He tells you those things all the time.
Honey, I'm in a hurry.
Sometimes when you turn it off and leave it on for a little while, then the next time you turn it on, you'll have a flash.
Weekend rendezvous, look out.
My background in film, I pretty much, I did most of my training in Los Angeles and Vancouver. I lived out in California for about 2 years and Vancouver for about 2 years, and I did most of my training and studying out there, which was really, really good, you know. I mean, you know, you're there, and when you're in those cities, a lot of people are doing it, right? So you're getting a lot of people in your classes that are trying to do the same thing, and teachers are there, and there's just a lot more happening, right? So it was good.
Sure, I started out acting in high school. I was doing theater for about 3 years in high school. Got me into a couple plays. Basically built up my character, who I am today. Then from theater, I jumped ship into film and television acting.
You can go. What's our experience? Or we studied?
Our experience? I graduated from the School of Hard Knocks. You know, fought my way up. Living on the streets, yo, and somewhere in there I took a lot of drama training, and now I'm doing
driving across to the West Coast on this little field trip thing with my friend, and he forced me to answer a question. You know, if money and skill were not an issue, what would you want to do for the rest of your life? So theater and film is what I've been doing ever since. Taking private classes.
Basically, I've been an actor all my life. I started appearing before, we'll say individuals with authority, and I started to lie to them. So at an early age, I started acting.
I did most of my high school in Canada, and then I did a few years of college in Ontario. Then I moved to New York and finished at the New York Film Academy. Sort of did my senior year there, and yeah, and I had throughout all those years I also did a bunch of stuff like in Second City here and there, a few courses here and there. So I tried to do a few different things.
My character in the movie was, my name was Enzo. He was more of a kind of a low-key kind of guy. He's pretty much liked everything to be normal by the book. You know, he had his friends kind of all loose cannons, a couple of them, right? So he was more of the guy trying to keep everything calm and, you know, just trying to do a favor for his uncle. And, you know, he was just more of a, you know, he wasn't your really crazy type guy.
How did I develop Troy? Let's see. Basically being the sick bastard I am today. You know, over the last couple of years, cracking jokes, you know, making all those sick sex jokes and stuff like that. Hey, basically, like I said, I got to be myself in this movie. It was great. You know, it wasn't basically playing a role, it was playing myself.
Well, my character is a guy that found his girlfriend sleeping with another girl the night before the movie happens, and our characters actually kind of hate each other, and yeah,
Yeah, my character Joey P, he's kind of an anti-hero, a little misunderstood. He's loyal to Enzo, but yeah, I think I was sleeping with your sister, and I don't know, he's a pretty crude kind of guy, but I think he's misunderstood, and probably the nicest guy really to have as a friend. He's honest.
He is honest.
You know, and,
Joey P is honest. That's true.
Yeah, a little, not quite like me though. I'm not as honest as him.
Well, I never really did too much to get into character due to the fact that the process was a difficult one for me due to the fact that you have to tread lightly when you're doing anything about the native world. So I had to change and work the script around, and you know, as offensive as some people find the movie, it was pushing buttons. It was pushing the envelope, pushing the limits. When I found out it was going to be a perverted dark comedy, I said, just how perverted is it going to be?
I wasn't supposed to act in my film. Actually, I had a character who I was rehearsing to play the character Mo, which I ended up playing, and he is sort of he dropped out on me a few weeks before that, and before we had to shoot, and you know that happens often. So, and pretty much I couldn't get anybody else, so I decided, you know, just you have to suck it up and, you know, play the character. And though it was tough, and you know, I would have rather not done it, at the end of the day I think it turned for the better. Pretty much that I think I played it better than any character that, you know, that could have played it. So because I wrote the script, and you know, like I say, it's independent films, and you know, when something goes down, which a lot of the times it does, you sort of have to suck it up and make it, you know, do what you gotta do.
It's John.
Jack. John. Can I call you Jack?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. John, where do you hail from?
I'm from here, from New York.
New York, a cosmopolitan man. Good for you. What are you in for, Jack? John?
I don't know what you mean.
In for? Why are you here? Why are you here?
I'm here for the lecture. Is it going to start soon?
Well, I mean, there is a lecture, technically, but it's one of those kind of give and take nonsense type things. You know, you tell your problems, I tell mine.
I didn't really come here to talk.
I'll go first. Ask me what my problem is. Ask why I'm here.
All right, why are you here?
Killed a Shih Tzu.
What?
You know what a Shih Tzu is?
Yeah, it's a dog.
Horrible animal. The wife breeds them, shows them at Westminster.
Yeah, I still don't get why you're here.
Well, the old ball and chain, as it were, asked me to take it out on the boat. 1 minute's on the bow wagging his little ratty tail. The next minute, blown out to sea. All that hair, you know, Shih Tzus, sunk it. I thought all dogs could swim, obviously not. Anywho, let me give you a piece of advice, my friend. If you ever kill your wife's Shih Tzu, do not stop for cocktails on the way home. I'm sorry, I can see you're upset, John. Come on, open up. I'm here, I'm listening. Come on. Come on.
All right, you really want to know?
I'm all ears.
All right, I'll tell you. I just found out today that I'm probably going to lose my job.
Good job.
Yeah. My daughter is dating a man who's almost my age, and he treats her like shit.
Is he rich?
Does it really matter?
No, I guess not.
On top of that, my car was stolen yesterday.
Really? Do tell. Just bought myself...
Do you want to hear this?
Yeah, sorry.
The kicker is, I just found out that my wife is sleeping with my brother.
Oh, God, that's... really, really low of him to do that. Or her, for that matter. Anywho, let me give you a piece of advice, my friend.
Yeah.
Shuck it all and go sailing.
Honestly, probably just being on set, just doing it, finally just doing it, right? Like, once we got rolling, I mean, the first day or two was kind of, you know, kind of up and down, but once we got rolling, you know what I mean? Everybody started getting comfortable, and we started, no, it was good. It was, you know, pretty much like the filming part. I mean, it was exciting. And then when the thing is, when we were done, it was kind of like, it was like a bummer because we still wanted to do more, right? So we're like, come on, Gary, write Tan Man 2.
Reading the script, I laughed my ass off basically. Just reading it, just the way Gary wrote it, the jokes that he had, it's like small humor, but still, it's really good. Looking back, I think it was well written. I enjoyed playing the person that I got to be. It was great.
And he knew what he was writing.
He's a good guy.
I liked it.
Funny script, good writer.
I love the script. Yeah. You know, there's not too many intellectuals in the world. Why write for them? Come on, you know, we like farts.
And did you laugh when you first read the script?
I did. I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, I laughed out loud, yeah.
I grew up watching Howard Stern. So, you know, I like crude humor.
No, it's not. No, it's not a typical Canadian movie or a typical American movie. This is a typical Gary Teperman production. I guess how he put it together is part of his thinking process. I've spoken to Gary. Apparently, he immigrated from Russia, and so basically his ideas were formulated over in Europe and brought over, and now we have a dual thinking system here with Gary. You know, the European and the Canadian.
Well, the film was shot in Winnipeg, and I shot it there because I grew up in Winnipeg, and when I was sort of writing the script originally, a lot of the ideas, a lot of the locations that I wrote in my script were based on Winnipeg locations, and I just pretty much thought, you know, I actually wrote the script on locations that I wanted to get and use. So, and that's a big part of the reason I went because I have a lot of friends and I know a lot of people in Winnipeg, and the money that I did have was not a lot, but it was, you know, pretty much I got a lot of stuff for free there. And as an independent producer these days, you sort of have to, you know, work with what you have and what you're able to get and what you have access to. And in Winnipeg, I had a lot of more stuff than anywhere else, so that's why I guess I chose Winnipeg.
You know, that's one thing that was really good, was because Gary was very flexible with us. So there were times that, you know, he would just let us ad-lib a little bit, add some stuff, change. So he was really easy to work with. He wasn't like, you know, I'm sure there's some writers out there that they're very like by the book. Oh, this is what I wrote and this is what I want you to say. And Gary, he let us. I mean, if we didn't say a word or two that what we were supposed to say, it's not like he would say, "Cut, let's do this again." So he was, he was really good in that way to let us kind of feel free to, you know, even if we didn't say it exactly, it was good.
How about Gary? Honestly, Gary, he was a creepy guy. You know, he's really weird and eerie. He was giving these looks and stuff like that. And at first I was like, I don't know about this guy. But then as I got to know him a bit more, got to talk to him, got to know what he was talking about today, he's got the same views, got kind of the same sarcastic jokes as I do, stick-minded. It's good.
Egotistical maniac that's kind of shy. But you know, the truth is, seriously, I love him. He has a great vision. He knows what he wants. He knows how to get it. He's not going to pretend that this movie is something that it's not. You know, that's what I really liked. He was very up in your face. This is what the movie is. It's Cross. This is the audience that we're looking for.
He knows his target market.
Yeah.
He knew the market for this movie.
I loved it.
This movie, you know, when I met him for the first time, because he does come off kind of. He's almost like a introvert when you first meet him.
You can tell he's a genius because of that. You know, because they're all loopy. All these geniuses, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And I got like other people I've heard, a lot of people, when they first met him, they got this really weird first impression. But I thought he was kind of interesting actually because of his weirdness.
Weirdness is good.
Weirdness.
A little bit of reality in there.
Mm-hmm.
Honesty,
totally honest. You know.
Easy to work with.
Yeah.
Yes, quite the sight, quite the vision. Now, I've worked with older individuals, and they just didn't seem to have that hunger as Gary Teperman did. That impressed me with him. I thought it was going to be a very low budget, which it was, but it actually came out very well. Gary, I was surprised at his first feature length, did exceptionally well. The conditions were not favorable to him. He did whatever he did. He got it done. That is most impressive.
How you doing?
Okay.
Where is it?
In the trunk.
Are you gonna bring it to me or am I gonna come get it?
What do you think is better?
Doesn't matter to me. Hey.
Take it.
What is that?
It's yours.
The cream's in there?
No.
No.
Yeah, no.
Look, I'm here to pick up some boxes of cream from Australia. That's what I thought I was picking up.
You are.
Well, this doesn't look like boxes of cream.
Well, it isn't.
What's going on, man?
Look, take that case to that address, then you'll get your cream.
Well, that wasn't part of the plan.
Well, it is now.
What's in the case?
Don't know.
You don't know.
Look. I drop shit off, man. That's what I do.
You know what? I think independent filmmaking in Canada is a beautiful beginning. I mean, just like anything, even with sports, I mean, you gotta start with your community club, then you go to regionals, then you go to provincials, and then so forth, right? But I mean, no, independent, I mean, that's the way you start. I mean, you just can't expect to get like a $20 million movie, right? You just have to start small. The experience on the independent filmmaking was unbelievable. I would recommend it to anybody, and if I had a chance to do another independent movie, I would be in it for sure, like hands down. Just great training. I think that's the best training that you can do, is actually being on set, talking with the camera guys, directors, and all that kind of stuff. It was really, really good experience.
I think the independent world is great. You know, there's so much talent, so many actors up in Canada, and not everyone's gonna score their big role in life or whatnot. So independent, it's great for an actor. You know, you're not held down to boundaries. I guess I'd really like to say. There's no real big boundaries in the independent world. You know, it's independent. You get to change stuff around the way you want to work around it a bit. You don't have like 30 million people on your back telling you gotta do it this way, you gotta do it that way. And I think it's great for other people. You know, and how many actors are out there in the world today, and they're not going to score a role ever in something really big. With independence, you know, it's more fun. You get to play around with your roles a bit more. You get to work a lot more with other people.
Another thing too about independent film in Canada, as it relates to this movie, is like this movie would never be made with funding in Canada. It's a titty movie, catering specifically to basically 14-year-old guys that want to have a really good laugh and have stuff to talk about at school the next day with the jokes and the situations. But like an important thing to remember is it would never be made in Canada. It would never be funded.
Where's the Canadian content, they'd say?
Yeah, where's the Canadian content? Where is the social responsibility here? Well, guess what? You know why Canadian independent films don't get seen? Because they're all about some guy dying of cancer who has to figure stuff out, and is, you know, it's always this heavy melodrama. And if more Canadian films, in my opinion, were just these farcical comedies, right, or a good action movie, that's why that's what you need, man. You need to draw. You need people spending money to see your movie, and they're not going to do it if it's a boring movie.
I mean, what they need to realize, we have a lot of talent in Canada. I mean, like, look at the number of Canadian actors and film producers, directors in the States. We have a lot of talent. There's no reason why we can't do it now. There's no reason why we can't be proud of being Canadian. But it's always like you're famous if you're from somewhere else, but if you're Canadian, it's tougher. Canadians got to really believe in themselves.
Yeah.
I think.
In the independent market here in Canada, we don't have enough money to subsidize individuals such as Gary Teperman. He's going to be a leading individual in the field because it's just his vision, you know. And what stops vision? What stops a person's idea? In today's world, it's the financial. All the money is going to the big budget people and not the individuals, you know, like Gary, you know, in the independent. Maybe we should, instead of giving $60 million to a Hollywood production, we can give 600 people $100,000 each and see some Canadian content.
Our scene in Canada, it's, you know, people say it's big, and you know, we have a lot of funding from the government, and that's a good thing for a lot of independent guys, but I think that's also where the problem is, because the scripts that get out there, since the government funds most of the independent people's films in Canada, it's sort of their script, and they decide what kind of script it is, and it's not always good. You know, I think when it comes comparing to the States, I think a lot of Canadian production companies and the government that gives us the money, I think that we try hard not to be like the Americans or make American kind of movies, even though that they make tons of money, and we sort of try to stay away from that, and that's fine. You know, as a nation, we need our own voice. But at the same time, you know, why can't a Canadian company, you know, make an American Pie? You know, though if they win any awards and made tons of money, or you know, Reservoir Dogs, or any kind of film like that was, you know, a sort of a trendsetter. And I think the States has more independent investors that sort of give money to independent filmmakers to make their kind of film without any kind of, you know, government bodies controlling the script and telling them, well, this doesn't work, this is too much, you gotta add this. And you know, I think there has to be sort of some kind of a point where, you know, the government sort of, you know, gives the money to an independent filmmaker no matter what their script is. Like, for my script, it would never get funded by the government because, you know, it's a dark comedy, but you guys trying to track down an illegal package of Tanning Ocean, and it is a bit raunchy, a bit perverted, but, you know, it's funny, and it's, you know, it's good.